Hey guys, how's it going? Today I will try out the training mode from Poker Scientist and we'll see if I'm good enough to compete against Poker Scientist, and I will try to explain all my thoughts that you get something out of it. And for this video I will be in the big blind against the button open race. So yeah, super wide range against super wide range, cause this is always a tough one. So yeah, should we call, raise, fold, and why? How much equity do we have? All those points. So yeah, 2-bet pot, so single raised, and we are out of position. And villain should play a balanced playing style. Let's go. Alright, here we have 9 off on 6 for deuce, so this is easy. Definitely check folding total air, that's easy. Next hand, queen deuce in spades, so we flop the queen high flush draw. I think in those situations we want to mix between raise and call. Folding is obviously out of the question. We also have some implieds with queen and king high flushes, cause all the worst flush draws are continuing on the flop. And yeah, when we make our flush we just get paid. But we also have the best hand here quite often, we with queen high. So yeah, we opt for a call this time. Yeah, and as you can see at the bottom, calling is fine, but we should mix between call and raise, and the EV is super close together, so both options are viable. So yeah, we should definitely mix. The turn is for sure yeah, not the best card, because it's another ace, so our equity decreases massively against his betting range, and he overbets 150% pot. Yeah, this is definitely not a fun spot, because we could be drawing that, or we are drawing very, very thin. This is a problem, because even when he has ace jack or something like this, so ace, he can fill up, and we lose even more money when we hit our spade on the river, when he makes his full house with this card, right? Plus, when the front door flush gets there, we can, or we should never play 4 stacks, and that's why I like just folding my hand on the turn. We have so many better hands to continue on the turn, and of course against this huge sizing we're also allowed to fold a ton of hands. On to the next one, jack 3 in hearts. We flop top here, but this is definitely a super dangerous board texture. He bets small, and I don't want to raise with my hand. Not enough worse hands are continuing, and if I decide to raise, this will put me in a super tough spot, what I should do on the turn and river. Even on blanks, I'm not sure what the correct strategy could be, and this is definitely why we should opt for a check call. And we see that the solver also only likes calling flop. That's good to know. Turn is another really bad card, but it's a good card for our range, because we have more flushes in our flop calling range. He bets small again, and it's already a fairly dicey situation. He still has bluffs like 10x, spades, weaker gut shots, and so on, but obviously against the stronger hands I'm dead. Against a bigger sizing I would fold right away, but against a smaller sizing I think we should continue sometimes. And we see, yes, sometimes we can call, but most of the time we're supposed to fold this hand. Alright, I like the numbers. Against the overbet on the river, nothing to discuss, I think. Okay, next hand we defend ace 10 suited in the big blind, and the flop is not so great as we can see. He bets 2.2 into 5.5, and we already have a decision. Yes, we should have enough equity, but are we able to realize our equity often enough? And if yes, which cards really help us? This is for sure one of the weaker hands we should call on the flop, because we have no spades, no backdoors, only two overcards. I mean, still with ace 10, we have the best hand quite often, and we get a good price, so I'm in on a call. And as we see, in 51% of the time, my play is correct. Turn is the deuce and clubs, and we check. And our opponent checks back. That's great news, that's for sure. River's another deuce, so quite a nice card, but we still hope to go to showdown for free. And he checks back and has jack 9. Yeah, that's definitely a bad candidate to bluff, cause he blocks straight and flush draws with the jack and spades and the 9 and diamonds. Yeah, that's definitely a nice hand to just give up riff. In the next hand, we defend with queen 4, and yeah, flop is so-so. Flop is ace queen 6 with 2 spades. We check, and he checks back. Turn is not the best card with the jack and spades, because he still has a lot of stronger hands. We also have no spade in our hand. So we want to go to showdown as cheap as possible. That's why I decided to check. And he checks back. River the king in spades now, our value goes down. I think we can bluff with hands like 6, 7, 5, 6, maybe jack 10 hearts and stuff. But with our pair of queens, we still beat some hands that go to showdown, and that's why I decided on a check. Alright, next hand we basically flop the world. And when he bets, this is definitely a hand I usually want to have in my check raise range. He goes for the big polarized bet, but yeah, I think I still want to check raise my sets sometimes, so this is definitely a combo I want to check raise with straight and flush draw. But I would definitely call most flush draws here, especially against his big sizing, that's for sure. Okay, moving on. Here we have pocket 9s, and yeah, flop is 10-6 deuce, so not too bad for actual hand. He checks back, and yeah, turn is definitely the dream. We bink our 9. Sure, we can bet, but we have a super strong hand, and I also want to have some really strong hands in my check raise range. But again, he checks back, and this is not a huge problem because he's betting most draws on the turn himself, so yeah, no need to protect that much. River, I think the concepts from the turn still apply. I want to have some check raises in my range, and this is definitely a nice candidate for check raising riff. And he overbets the river. Yeah, this is probably close, but I think I opt more often for a call against the overbet. He can still have some straights, right? Oh, okay. Huge blunder. Yeah, in hindsight, he can have worse 2 pairs and stuff, right? Maybe even top pair, top kicker or something in his betting range, and he will still call some of those mentioned hands. So I get why we should check raise even against the overbet. I was thinking he mainly has straights or air, so he just folds when I raise with blast, right? So I cannot extract enough value from worse. But in hindsight, I would agree that he's value betting enough worse hands and not only straights or bluffs. So the raise definitely makes sense. I mean, again, against a smaller sizing, there's just no question. I would always go ahead and raise riff. Okay, next hand, 7-5. That's easy. We just always muck. 8-7 definitely strong enough to call when he bets, but he checks back. On the turn, we still have a middling type hand and cannot extract a ton of value from verse, so yeah, still checking. River, I think we can value bet against his pairs and against his ace highs with a small sizing. Oh, and he raises. Yeah, that's ugly. When I think about my range, I have a ton of better hands in my range, and it's also not the best bluff raise spot for him. So I think folding my weak 7x sounds about right. I even have Queen X in my range, all the better 7x hands. So I'm definitely not folding one of my strongest hands. And I think this is really crucial to understand where you are in your betting range, and yeah, just play according to this game tree. Okay, next hand we defend with King Queen off. Flop is not too nice, but at least we have a spade. He checks back, and with King Queen high we still have a lot of showdown value, and not too many better hands are folding if we bet turn. So going for the check forward on the turn. He checks back again, and on the river, yeah, we have to mix again. So great bluff card for him. So we check and hope that he bluffs something or value bets with a weaker hand. And yeah, unfortunately he has ace-3 for a pair of threes. So he's definitely never bluffing with this hand on the river, that's for sure. Next hand we have a7 and we fold flop, because I thought we have no flush draw. So yeah, definitely butchered this one. With a flush draw, it's obviously an easy call, but still looks good, right? Because he had aces. So yeah, that's it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this little video. Feel free to leave feedback, and I will see you in the next one.